This wasn't just another tragic car crash. And RUTE, the woman Diogo Jota trusted most, just admitted something no one expected. Because behind the headlines of Diogo's sudden death, there's a story unraveling. And the most haunting part? It might not have been an accident. Diogo Jota, star forward, global icon, and a father of 3. He was beloved by millions, not just for his talent, but for his quiet resilience, humble persona, and fierce loyalty to his roots. So when news broke that he and his brother Andre had died in a fiery highway crash in northern Spain, the world was stunned. Tributes poured in. Teammates wept. Fans lit candles. But not everyone accepted the official version. And now, weeks later, shocking new testimony is flipping this case upside down. The first red flag came from someone no one expected, the truck driver who witnessed it all. According to him, Diogo wasn't driving recklessly. In fact, the driver claims the crash made no sense at all. No high-speed swerving. No erratic movement. No sign of panic. Just a sudden, violent impact. The kind that didn't match the terrain. The kind that suggested something far more calculated. The moment that testimony hit social media, investigators were forced to take another look. And when they looked closer, things started getting strange. Fast. For starters, Diogo was reportedly suffering from a serious lung condition. Doctors had strongly advised him not to fly, warning that the cabin pressure and turbulence could worsen his infection. But instead of flying, he drove. For 8 hours. Through unpredictable roads, mountain curves, and extreme fatigue. Alone. Why would someone with compromised lungs risk such a brutal journey behind the wheel? And more importantly, why wasn't anyone with him? The more investigators looked, the fewer answers they had. Diogo's travel route didn't match any public schedule. His GPS logs showed a strange stop just before the crash site. And his last known text? Still unreleased. Frustrated and devastated, Diogo's parents formally demanded a full investigation. They believed there was more to this story than met the eye. They had one burning question the police couldn't ignore. And what did she really know? That pressure worked. Authorities quietly brought RUTE in for questioning. Not as a suspect, but as someone who might finally fill in the missing pieces. At first, she kept calm. Answered methodically. Avoided emotion. But then, came the crack. And what she revealed next stunned everyone in the room. In the interrogation room, RUTE admitted that things with Diogo hadn't been okay for years. She confessed that almost 2 years ago, Diogo had simply disappeared from their life. He stopped coming home. He stopped answering calls. She was left to care for their 3 children, completely alone. She said, and I quote, "I was alone. Completely alone. He wouldn't even pick up the phone. I didn't know if he was alive or just gone." And in that dark silence, someone else stepped in. Another man. Someone who saw her pain. Who listened. Who showed her affection when she needed it most. At first, it was comfort. Then friendship. Then something deeper. According to RUTE, this man became a key part of her emotional world. She didn't name him, not yet. But what she said next sent chills through the room. Just when she thought she'd moved on, Diogo called her. Out of nowhere. After 2 years of silence, he said just one thing. "RUTE, get ready. We're getting married." She was stunned. The man who had abandoned her was now proposing? And she said yes. Because, in her words, He's the father of my children. I still loved him. I wanted to believe we could fix it. But there was something she didn't tell Diogo. She was still emotionally attached to the other man. The one who had been there during the darkest times. The one she hadn't fully let go of. She married Diogo anyway. But shortly after the wedding, came the phone call that turned her world upside down. It was him. The man from her past. The man she hadn't truly left behind. And he said this. "So, you married him. Okay. Let's see what happens now. Soon, you'll be alone. And when you are, I'll be waiting. No threats. No shouting. Just cold certainty." A message that didn't sound like heartbreak. It sounded like a promise. The moment investigators heard that quote, everything changed. This wasn't just about an abandoned wife. This was about motive. About jealousy. About revenge. Police immediately began tracing that man's identity. And within days, reports surfaced that a male individual with ties to RUTE had been quietly detained for questioning. No charges. No headlines. Just whispers. Sources close to the case say the man had a history of obsessive behavior, emotional instability, and possible past threats toward both RUTE and Diogo. Investigators are now examining whether he could have followed Diogo. Or worse, interfered with his vehicle. And now, terrifying questions hang in the air. Was this man tracking Diogo's movements? Did he know about the solo drive? Did he orchestrate something? The authorities haven't confirmed anything. But they're not denying it either. RUTE's confession cracked open a door no one can close. Because her story didn't end with heartbreak. It began a timeline that now aligns eerily close to Diogo's final moments. As of today, the investigation remains active. Foul play has not been ruled out. The man allegedly involved with RUTE remains under tight surveillance, with authorities calling him a person of extreme interest. Meanwhile, Diogo's family continues to push for clarity. They believe Diogo was being watched, followed, and possibly lured into a vulnerable position. One thing's for sure. This wasn't just a clean-cut tragedy.